Hello. Quick shout out to David Hoffmeister for his really enjoyable talks um, and input on movies. So much fun from a Course in Miracles perspective, or relating them to A Course in Miracles. It's very, very interesting, entertaining, and enlightening. I wanted to talk today about meing and selfing. What's the difference? For me, meing is the me thought, or it's really the me thoughting. It's the dynamic of the me thought, which is comprehensive. It's a wraparound thought. It encases you. It's a body snatcher. That's what it is. And selfing to me, which is all based in kind of push-pull, which is everything has to be different. We have to push it to be different, or we have to pull it to be different. And there's variations on push-pull, but they all kind of come back to that. And so selfing is really the tactics of distraction and hooking to keep you involved in self. Like I said, these all work through the meing. Without the meing, the selfing is meaningless. Because if there's no identification first, it doesn't mean anything to you. That identification makes it personal, makes it mean, makes everything the selfing does meaningful to you. And so what are some of the different tactics of selfing? Just, overthinking, ruminating, circling back around, perfectionism, trying to get things right, trying to nail things down, trying to settle things, trying to make things safe, criticism, judgment, rehashing, anything that renews your investment in self. And these things are very subtle because you can have like a couple dozen identities or whatever. You don't even know you're operating from those identities. You might see one and you might be operating from the next one without knowing it. And that identity, might be drawn to certain things, like being a fixer. That one, and it's just into that identity. It just seems natural. Oh, so and so needs help. I've got to fix them. I've got to step in. Fix them. Recommendations. Here's what they should be doing. That kind of thing. So identity and tactics go hand in hand. So again, the meing and the selfing working together. So perhaps that's included in the meaning, actually, is the different flavors, the different personalities or characters or identifications that you can be, in different situations with different people, different moods, different times. And each one of those characters is going to have a different set of values, a different weaknesses that are prone to being hooked by selfing. At some point, perhaps I'll elaborate on these and get even more detailed, more specific. Because there's so many of these things, the combination of being and selfing, there's so many of them that we take for granted, and that's just how things are. That's just how I am. This is just how things should be. Somebody has to do it. Somebody has to step in. Somebody has to make things right. It all boils down to, somehow it has to be different. And it's on me to make it different. It's the doer. It's the amazing thing about selfing and doing and meing, selfing and meing, is that it's all doing. This is what doing is. This is what the doer is. Which is going to sound weird, but what you are never does anything. What you are is the non-doer. It's the non-doer. And that doesn't mean that things don't get done. Things don't. It doesn't mean there's not dunning or just mean it's not dynamic. It's just that there's no doer. And so the difference between you, it's one of the reasons you can tell when it's not you is that it's doing something. And all the distraction from what you are is all doing. And so if you notice that, like, the mind is trying to rectify a situation. It's got, and this is another hook where the head has contradicting thoughts, contradicting beliefs, and we've got to rectify these two with the perceived current situation. Okay. So, and this is all doing, and even with the best intentions, like, you could be trying to, like solving seems like a good thing, right? A lot of the time. And maybe, there's a time for it, or, there's a level for it. And there's a time for it. But when it comes to you, when you notice doing, it's simply not you. Be well.